Oh, thank you. I run out of measuring cups. Need a bowl. All right, welcome back to the Brown Paper Bag Show, Nana's Kitchen Edition, where Nana isn't around anymore, so I run this shit without ever having to worry about her complaining about what I'm doing and all that. Typical Nana's Kitchen. When I get back to California, it'll be a little bit different. But anyways, all right. So, sourdough bread. I literally want to know who came up with, who was sitting one day, and they're like, you know what? Hey, like they're in the cave, right? Hey, Og. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you left the dough out that you were going to make the bread the other day, and it's been sitting for like a week, and it's all bubbly, and it smells like shit. And hey, you know what we should do? Yeah, we should put it in another loaf of bread and make something. Who figured this stuff out? Who did that? Who figured out dry aging, wet aging? Hey, let's let our meat rot for 48 days. Anyway, all right. So the process for sourdough bread has been an unbelievable journey, and I have so much respect for all of you guys out there who do it. Finally got the starter right. Now, I have two of them. One was made purely of whole wheat flour from, was it King Arthur? And then this one is the white flour from King Arthur. The white one, in my opinion, it's easier to work with. I just refed this today. It has to be the consistency of peanut butter, a thicker starter, and it will rise very, very well. So the recipe that I saw calls for 500 grams of flour. I'm using the white flour, the bread flour, and 100 grams of starter. To do that, what I did was I found Nana's old Weight Watchers from the 80s that she did back. Oh my God. That was a pain in the ass when she measured out all her food and like got no progress off of it because that was fucking ridiculous. But I put the bowl on this plastic Taylor piece of crap food scale, which actually works well. Then I zeroed it out. Then I put in 100 grams of starter. And then I did the same thing instead of just going on Google and asking for the conversion rate of cups versus grams. But 500 grams of flour is 4 cups. The recipe says, same thing for water. It says 350 grams of water, which is 2 cups. It says combine the 3, not the salt, mix it together, and let it sit for 48 hours. So we're going to do that. 24 hours, excuse me. I'm going to, starter is in here. It's already been in there. Put in my flour. That is spanky. Then water. Now, I guess, for the common sense aspect of it, because I'm like, why do we use the starter? Because that substitutes as the yeast. So normally when I make bread, I've got the yeast packets from the grocery store. Well, this is what it does instead. So I'm going to mix this all together. Okay, I like the consistency. Get all that in there. Again, I went for King Arthur. Is that what it is? Yeah, King Arthur baking bread flour. They're not a paid sponsor. Even though we're a brand new channel, should you like to throw in your hat for sponsorship, we'll take your money. All right. I'm going to mix this together. I'm not going to add any more water in here. And, that helps. All right. Now I got to let this rest. It says let it rest for 24. I want to make sure I get all the flour kind of absorbed in here. I'm gonna go Beastmaster on this one. Oh yeah, use those. Ugh. All right. I want to get all this flour possible in this. Okay. So now that that's in there, I'm going to cover this and let this rest for 24 hours. And then we'll see what the next process is. The process after this says add the salt to a 10, which is 10 grams of salt. I haven't done the conversion of that yet. But cover this. It's got to prove, if you will, if you watch the Great British Baking Show, which I do, and Paul Hollywood, the bread father. I'm coming for you, Paul. I'm the real guy with the gray beard, well, white beard and hair and blue eyes. I'm coming for you. And we're going to let this proof for 24 hours and come back and see what the next step is like. So, yeah, while you're waiting, hit for the next edit, hit subscribe, comment below, like all the video, put in your catalog to share, and comment your success or horror stories of sourdough bread, and we'll come back to this. Yeah, Paul Hollywood is safe. Apparently, I'm not coming after his Breadfather title anytime effing soon because I got it wrong. So I don't have to let it prove for 12 hours. The next step was 30 to 45 minutes after it's sat. You then fold in the salt. I don't know why. I'm just following recipes. I don't see how this goes. But typically, I would end in the salt in the process of water mixing with not the starter before, but the yeast and the flour. So I'm going to gently sprinkle this in. It's about 10 grams. There's about 2 tablespoons, if you will, folding this in. It says this has still got some moisture, so I like this already. If I need to add water, add in another 10 grams of water. So maybe that's 2 I don't know what the conversion is for liquid. And I'm not going to because this is allowing me to mix it pretty decently. Now, the biggest process then says it has to prove for 4 to 6 hours. We're going to go with the 6-hour mark, all right? Which means I'm going to be up till fucking midnight making this shit. The first 2 hours of the proving process, it calls to stretch and fold the dough. So that means every 30 to 45 minutes, which means I'm going to be smoking a lot of cigars between now and then, I have to monitor this and stretch. Let this bit, ooh, yeah. And then fold fold. I guess it says to help the fermenting process, even, or the gluten, help the gluten with it, which I guess we don't want the gluten, right? Whatever. Whatever. I'm just following the instructions. So right now it's to add in the salt, and then I've got to do the whole every 30 minutes for the next 2 hours of the 4-hour process. It's got me. Does this make any sense? Would you put the salt in after you do this? Whatever. Now who knows? All right, I'm a bread hoe though, so we want to get this done and tasting right. So again, this is going to then prove for 4 to 6 hours during the fermenting process, and I'm going to stretch and fold it as it says, and we're just going to see. Get the salt in there. What goes? Oh, you guys didn't see that? Okay. During that process. So, all right, that's going to sit now. I'm going to come back in 45 minutes after this. I'm going to let it cover 45 minutes, and then I'm going to do my first stretch and fold, and then I've got to do that. If I go at the 45-minute mark, I've only got to do it twice. So I'll video once so you can see what it's like, and then that's it. So, all right, let's come back to the next step. All right, so this next step calls for this to be folded over in the bowl. It hasn't gotten that much of a rise, but it's only been 45 minutes. It says to wet your hands, right? And we're not going to do not going to do that. That's for baking in the bedroom. But anyways, this is not a kid's channel. It says wet your hands, and I'm supposed to. Ooh, this has got a lot of moisture to it, and it's not just my hands. You can feel it. So it says to stretch it and then fold it over itself. Rotate the bowl. Do it from the other side. Do this 3 to 4 times. This is like gum. This is not like normal bread dough that I do. Maybe that's why they had to put the salt in the other time, or afterwards, the process. Different. Okay. Okay. Do it again. I'm going to do this 2 more times. Now remember, this has me doing it twice inside of the 4 to 6 hour prove time. So it's been 45 minutes for the first, and this is supposed to help with the gluten issue. I didn't read it. So I'll do this. All right. Ooh. And then we're going to come back in another 45 minutes. I'm not going to record that. I'm going to do the exact same thing at 45 minutes. Then I'm going to let it sit. So by my time, that would mean 11:30 at night out here in Chicago that this would be done, proving I'm going to go to the next step. All right, so let's see what happens. All right, so the only step I didn't film was last night. I was tired. I just didn't want to friggin' film, okay? After the bread proved for between 6 hours, I let it prove for, it didn't rise. I left it at room temperature, and unlike normal bread that you make where you add an active yeast, either a quick start or a 2-hour rise, there was no rising to the bread. The dough was dense, and it was sweating to a degree, and I think maybe that has something to do with adding the salt in after it sat for 35 minutes in the first initial mix. No rise. It then called to be kneaded into a ball. Then you put seams up where it folds in. Up, the seams have to be facing up into a cloth-lined bowl in the fridge where you cover it, and then you let it sit for 12 or 16 hours to prove in a cold proof, which I did. When I looked at it today, and I just took it out of the fridge, there's no rising, right? It didn't rise. And it says that that's a normal process. Like, it does not rise like normal yeast bread would. Regardless, we're going to go with this. I'm going to stick this back in the fridge because it says that a colder dough is more easy to manipulate, if you will, especially when moving into a Dutch oven, which, thank you to the person I literally an hour ago just bought this Lodge 10-quart Dutch oven off of Facebook Marketplace. You saved the day. Love it. And I can now make really good bread with the Dutch oven. Guys, if you're not sponsoring and supporting people on Facebook Marketplace or local, do it. It's the right thing to do. Why would you go buy a $100 friggin' cast iron when people use their cast iron like once and then sell it? So, and this is a Lodge, which I'm a big fan of. So, all right, that's cool. Anyways, this is going to sit in the oven. I'm going to preheat this at 475 degrees for 45 minutes. Then I'm going to parchment. It calls for parchment paper. But the problem is with parchment paper, Rachel and I were talking about it. I went to the store. Rachel's looking online, and she goes, no, parchment paper isn't rated for more than a certain degree in the oven. So most parchment paper that I got at my local Jewel, because I'm in the Chicago area, doesn't go over 425 degrees. So I'm online, and it says, don't worry about it. Just lightly dust your dough cold with flour, the white flour, the bread flour I'm going to use. Put it in the Dutch oven. The Dutch oven then goes back in the oven for 475 degrees for 20 minutes. Then remove the cover, let it sit for another 25 minutes, baking in there, then bring it out, and then we're going to see what's going to happen. So we're going to advance this with the magic of movie editing and check out the process of what happens after I bake my first loaf of sourdough bread. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh! All right, so the Dutch oven has been preheated. It is hot as hell. Shaking off the lid. Whoa, look at that. I'm going to lightly dust the inside a little bit. Yes, this has been seasoned too. Then I'm going to take the dough, take out my dough. I am going, oh, look at this, for good luck. Ooh, daddy likes. All right, we're gonna like that. Mm-hmm. It said if I want a lighter crust to sprinkle water on the dough, or if I want a heavier crust, if you will, in that process. You know, slide the lid off. I'm going to leave it as is for this first try. I'm going to score it. We'll do one right there. And we're going to not burn the shit out of myself. Plop. I almost grabbed that. That would have been a Tom from Tom and Jerry. Oh! Okay, covering it back up. Open up the oven. Pop this big bitch in. And let's get it going. All right. This is going to be great. Let's do this. And 20 minutes. I'm just going to take the lid off, do another 25 minutes, and we'll look at the finished product when we're done. All right, so I'm going to try to remove this. Oh, one-handed. Oh, this is not smart. Give me a second. Okay, after removing it, this is what it looks like after only 20 minutes with the lid on. So I got to put it back in for 25 minutes with it off. All right, it's been 45 minutes with the lid off. We're going to bring this out, see how it is. Turn the oven off. Okay. Boom. Oh, man, yeah. Oh, holy shit, and shove me in it. Cast iron. Okay. Let me see if I can manipulate this good enough here. I got to let it cool for an hour before. Oh, look at that golden sexiness. This looks absolutely fantastic. I've never used a cast iron or especially a Dutch oven to bake bread. This, oh my. Listen. Oh, wow. Okay, I got to let it cool for an hour. They said let it cool for an hour so that you don't get, it doesn't ruin the crust. We're going to let that out there. And in the meantime, if we're going to let that cool, man, what am I going to do between now and then that I can... Oh, I have an idea. I'm going to make homemade tomato soup to dip this sourdough bread in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and stick around for that video. So we're going to come back in an hour, slice this bitch open, and see how we did. All right, it's been an hour. We're going to slice the bread. Ooh, still warm. We're going to rub some salt in the wound too.
Hello?
Okay, we're filming and cutting at the same time, all right?
Ooh.
Okay, so hang on. I got to get something. Okay, I'll do this. All right. Can you hear us well? Hello?
Say something. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so make sure you have a bread knife. It's got serrations on there. I'm going to cut this right down the center. I'm going to go with the seam. You called this an ear earlier, too? What was that? When you looked at the picture of, what does an ear mean?
So whenever you score the top of your bread right before you put it in the loaf and it bakes, that little ridge that rises up on the top, that's the ear.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. All right. So, all right. So Rachel is not in the kitchen. We're going to do this, okay? Oh, good. All right, here we go. Slice into it. Oh. Did you hear that?
Oh, that sounded really good.
Hey, listen.
Crisp.
Oh, wow. It's not like normal. It's not, oh, crock pot. Oh, crock pot, you are so beautiful. Now, I followed the instructions perfectly. Okay. It is not, I think the bread, it could have been baked a little bit longer. I could have gone another 5 minutes. I don't have that real, like, I'll send you pictures, but I don't have the holes on the inside where it's really aerated out.
Okay.
Oh, smells amazing. You can absolutely smell the sourdoughness, if you will. That crust alone, dear Ming,
Yeah, it looks like you got some good caramelization on that.
oh, it's fantastic. All right, let me do this. All right, and I'm going to, I'm gonna tear off a piece, and you don't get to taste any of it.
True.
Oh my God. The crust is incredible.
Yeah, I can hear the crisp.
Holy shit, the flavor is fantastic.
Great.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna need to spend more time figuring out exactly how long to bake it because I think it's maybe slightly underbaked, or I should have let it sit for longer. Either way, the flavor is fantastic on this. Wow. And the crust. I normally don't bake bread in a Dutch oven, so I don't get the flaky crust of that. But this is unbelievable. You can just hear
Yeah, I'm jealous.
the ASMR of that. So, sourdough, we've nailed it. Now that I know how to do it, I'm going to take us to California and do it there. Superb. I'm just going to make my tomato soup now. Have a nice bowl. You get none.
Oh.
And there we go. All right, Brown Paper Bag Show. Make sure you subscribe. What else should they do?
Share, comment, tell us what you think. If you want to see us try and make anything or any suggestions, let us know.
What are you going to bake next time for something?
Well, I mean, I've got a few recipes rolling around. I would like to make a caramel cake. I want to make something with apples. So like I have an apple cider donut cake recipe I want to make.
Right.
And then I have a few cookies recipes I got to think about.
Rachel's got a lot to do.
Yeah.
Got a lot to
some
do.
savory stuff too.
Okay. All right, Brown Paper Bag Show. Guys, like, subscribe, comment below. We appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next video.